Before you scroll past this video, let me ask you something you may not have asked yourself in a long time. What if just 5 minutes, a tiny slice of your day, could completely shift the direction of your entire year? Not 5 hours of hard work, not a complicated system, just 5 minutes. A habit so small it almost feels insignificant, yet powerful enough to reshape your mindset and rebuild your momentum. If you've been feeling stuck or disconnected from your goals, this might be the turning point you didn't know you needed. Most people believe that transformation requires massive effort, huge plans, or intense discipline. But the truth is, real growth often begins with something incredibly small, so small that your brain doesn't fight it. Today, I want to show you the 5-minute habit that can create the momentum you've been missing, and why it works far better than forcing yourself into big, overwhelming routines. Before we dive in, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you're someone who's craving growth, clarity, and a stronger mindset, this channel is going to feel like home. I make videos designed to help you become more focused, more consistent, and more confident in your daily life. So subscribe and let's grow together. Now, let me take you back to a time when everything felt heavy. My days were busy, but I didn't feel accomplished. My to-do list was long, but the progress was tiny. Every night I'd tell myself, tomorrow I'll get it together. And every morning, nothing really changed. I felt like I was trapped in a cycle, one that drained my energy little by little. One late night, completely exhausted, I came across a concept that instantly hit me: micro wins. It said that the human brain thrives on small victories. Even the tiniest accomplishment triggers a dopamine release, a chemical that fuels motivation and makes you want to keep going. That's when I realized something important. I wasn't lacking motivation. I was overwhelmed by starting something too big. The next morning, I stopped trying to fix my entire life in one day. I stopped making long, impossible plans. I gave myself one mission: 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of meaningful action. Not thinking about the task, not planning it, actually doing something real, something that mattered to me. Some days, those 5 minutes were spent cleaning one small corner of my room. Sometimes I used them to write a few sentences in a journal. Other days, I read a single page of a book. And on some mornings, I just sat quietly and breathed before touching my phone. There were no strict rules. The only rule was this: the first 5 minutes of my day belonged to growth. What surprised me most was how effective those 5 minutes were. They didn't overwhelm me. They didn't trigger procrastination. They didn't feel heavy or stressful. Yet once I finished those 5 minutes, I felt a small spark, a little boost of energy that made it easier to keep going. And slowly, those tiny sparks turned into momentum. According to neuroscience, your brain doesn't care how big a task is. What matters is completion. Completing even a small task triggers a dopamine reward, the same chemical release you get from finishing something huge. That's why this 5-minute habit is so powerful. It gives your brain a quick win every single day. In just a few weeks, I began noticing real change. I was more consistent, more focused, less overwhelmed. Routines started building themselves naturally, without force. And the most important thing, I started trusting myself again. I started seeing myself as someone who shows up, someone who takes action, someone who grows. This tiny 5-minute habit began influencing everything. Tasks felt lighter. Goals felt possible again. And I realized something life-changing. Progress doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency, from tiny actions repeated daily until they form a foundation. When I did the math, it shocked me. 5 minutes a day for a year becomes 1,225 minutes of intentional growth. That's more than 30 hours dedicated entirely to improving your life. 30 hours of becoming more focused, more disciplined, and more aligned. All from something you barely even feel. Most people wait for motivation before they act. But motivation isn't the starting point, it's the result. And small, achievable action is the fastest way to generate motivation from nothing. That's exactly what this 5-minute habit gives you. So starting tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before the world demands your attention, give yourself 5 minutes. 5 minutes of real action. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be impressive. It just has to be honest. And if the next day doesn't go perfectly, it's completely okay. This habit isn't about perfection, it's about identity. It's about becoming someone who shows up for themselves, even in small ways. Someone who grows little by little. Someone who chooses progress over excuses. If you're still here listening, it already tells me something important. You want change. You want something bigger for your life. And I'm glad you found this video, because you're not alone. If you want to keep growing, learning, and improving yourself from the inside out, I'd love for you to subscribe and become part of this community. Every week we talk about mindset, habits, discipline, neuroscience, and real strategies to help you build a life you're proud of. And I'm honored to be part of your growth journey. Remember this: your life does not change when a new year begins. Your life changes when your habits begin. And your habits begin the moment you decide to start. Even if it's only for 5 minutes. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week. 5 minutes today can become the momentum that transforms your entire year. Thank you for watching. Take 5 minutes today and watch your life quietly begin to shift. See you in the next video. Keep growing.